So far, we've been writing our styles as you would in the traditional CSS approach. However, one thing that SAS avails us, and at this point you've seen quite a bit, is the ability to nest selector inside another selector. Also, in conjunction with the BEM convention, we're able to write less selector name. Recall that so far we've been writing our selector using the BEM notation, but with each selector standing on its own. Now let's see how nesting selector works and how in conjunction with BEM, we can write even a shorter selector name. This is where we left off in our last class. Now let's check the index.html to point out some things. Now note that the header here has a class of hero, and in it, it's a paragraph with hero text. And somewhere there you have another container with hero CTA that contains these two buttons. Okay, now if we look at the naming of these selectors, they are tightly coupled with the block, which means that they are going to be used together. Because these selectors, hero text and hero CTA, have a common denominator hero, the block name, we can actually nest them inside the hero block and write less selector name. Now let's go back to the main.scss file. Let me go up here, and here, if I want to target the hero, I will do something like this, right? Let's say now I want to give it a width of 70%, so it stays at the center of the page. 70%, and margin auto. What else would I want to give it? Okay, that should do for now. Now, to target the hero text, I would have done something like this ordinarily. Isn't that true? This is what I would have done, following the traditional way I write CSS, or we write CSS. And if I want the CTA, I would have done also hero CTA. So individually, I target each one. But with SAS, it is possible for me to nest these two selectors, hero text and hero CTA, inside the hero block, because they are actually tied to the hero block, and without it, they may actually not make any sense. So since they are named hero CTA and hero text, then I can actually nest them inside the hero block. So let's say I cut it here and I paste it here. This will amount to me nesting these two selectors inside this block, and this is allowed in SAS. Now, so I can then target each of the selectors. For example, let's say, because this hero text, let's check, it's on the paragraph, right? So I could say, maybe font size, for example, 30 pixel, the font weight, just for visual purpose, let's target this CTA. Let's say it's a container, it's a div container. So let's say I give it a margin of 30 pixel up and down and 0 left and right, so that it states of the other element. So this way now, I have nested this hero text selector and hero CTA selector inside the hero block, and it makes sense because they are ever going to be used along with the hero block. Otherwise, I wouldn't have called them hero text, hero CTA. Now, if we place a cursor on it, you see that they are actually inside the hero block. And of course, if you've been writing CSS, you know that this is not possible in CSS. Now, so if I save now and take a look, refresh, good. So you see now that I have the hero block positioned at the center, and of course, the style that I applied to the hero text works. And of course, the hero CTA has this margin of 30 pixel up and bottom. So that is how you nest a selector inside another selector. This way now, I know that these two selectors perpetually go with this hero block. Now, so that is how you will name it. But beside how I have just nested this selector, or beside just nesting this selector, there is something I can also still do with the way the selectors are named. And that's one of the beauties of the BEM notation or convention. Now, each of them has the common denominator hero to them. So I could actually write this selector without repeating the word hero. So let me comment this out, or first copy it, then comment it out, and do what I would have done if I were availing myself the opportunity that Ben avails us coupled with SAS. So here, rather than repeat this hero, I can just take it out and have something like this, the and symbol. And the same thing for hero CTA, have something like this. Now you've noticed the color changes. So if I place my cursor on it, you see, it still gives me hero text and hero CTA. All right. So this is how the BEM convention helps us write less selector name. So rather than write out the entire hero text and hero CTA, I could just use the ampersand, which means that I am reading the selector beginning from the block name up onto the double underscore. And if I save now and preview our work in the browser, let's see if there's any difference. I refresh, you see everything still works, nothing breaks. These are two ways that you can avail yourself of what SAS made possible and the power of using that BEM naming convention. If I had modifier now, instead of element here, all I would have done is say dash dash. That's it. It's as simple as that. Okay. Of course, what I had is element. So let me take it back. So this is how you nest element in SAS. And this is how you utilize the power of the naming convention, the BEM naming conventions, to write less CSS. Now, but something we could actually do here, but of course, when we get to the course project, you're going to see it, is that in this place, this hero CTA, because these buttons can actually be reused, I can actually cut them out and create a block inside of it. Of course, we saw that while we were dealing with the BEM convention, and I can play them here, and I will rename this one as, say, buttons, where this individual one will not be button. So it means that this is a block, this button, these buttons is a component, is a block inside the hero CTA. So I can reuse these buttons now anywhere else. So in writing my CSS or in writing my SAS code, I wouldn't need to nest the buttons here like this. I wouldn't need to do something like this, say, and do like this. Because if I do like this, what it means is that this button will now be tied to the hero CTA. It's no longer modular. I can no longer reuse it anywhere. It is now tied to this hero CTA. So because it is a block on its own, what I could do is take it out and make it stand on its own. Make it stand outside of the hero block. Don't forget we're still in the hero block, like so. This way now, I can then target the buttons inside. I can nest the buttons, the individual button inside, and do whatever I want to do. That's it. So this one now, because it stands on its own, it can be reused elsewhere. And it makes sense for it to stand on its own because it is a block, even though it is inside an element. That is in the context of the BEM convention. So when we begin our course project, you're going to see how we actually plan out all these things so that when you write your CSS or your SAS code, they will be modular, reusable, and easy to maintain in the future. So that's how nesting works in SAS.